What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about 8 rules for self-care, self-love, and self-esteem. Before I start this video, let me just define these terms. Self-love is being in love with who you are, having high emotional regard for yourself. Self-care is practicing habits that sustain your health and wellness. Self-esteem is your confidence in your own worth and abilities, having self-respect. The most important relationship that you'll ever have in your life is your relationship with you. These 8 rules can be helpful in establishing, renewing, or maintaining your relationship with yourself. So, jumping right into this, rule number 1, give no one the authority to invalidate you. I speak to a lot of women who have very poor self-images, who have been through very traumatic things when they were younger and things were different. Their childhoods follow them into their adulthoods, their 20s follow them into their 30s into their 40s, and so on. They often come to me thinking that they need relationship advice, when they really just need self-care, self-love, or self-esteem. Oftentimes, they haven't forgiven themselves for being weak in the past, or taking actions that led to their own emotional or psychological harm. Other times, they can't forget the words and voices of abusive parents and spouses who sought to control their self-image. They still believe the messages of those who were unfit and unqualified to determine their worth as people, who felt inadequate themselves and sought to project that onto them. It breaks my heart to hear some of the things people actually believe about themselves simply because it was told to them by someone they needed validation from. So I repeat, give no one the authority to invalidate you. For what qualifies them to evaluate you? Are they a prophet of God? If they truly knew that you wasn't going to be shit or you was worthless, then they should also know the weather for next Tuesday or the next lottery numbers. Yeah, my point exactly. People don't know shit. All they know is how they feel, and they project that onto others. Rule number 2, forget everything they said about you. I have about 90 people on my block list. Hundreds of horrible things have been said about me, especially since I started this channel. Imagine if I had chosen to believe these people, or if I had given them power to stop my rise. A broken and defeated Kevin wouldn't be of much use to anybody. Never forget that miserable people like to project their misery onto others. Misery doesn't just love company, it seeks to create it. People who don't have joy don't want others around them to have joy. Think about it. When have you been really happy and started some crap with somebody or hurled an insult? Insults are meant to reduce a person. When you're great, people who feel small will seek to humble you. And once you've been humbled, these same people will seek to break you. And only after you're broken will people cheer for your rise, because that makes them feel bigger. Some of you have parents, spouses, family members, or friends that never reached their goals or lived their dreams out. They feel inadequate, like failures. Their life didn't turn out the way they hoped. Because it hurts too much to be honest and blame themselves, they project their failures onto you. They project their self-concept onto you, their self-esteem onto you, their fears onto you. They may say that you'll never amount to anything, or that you'll never accomplish your goals, but it's simply because they never accomplished theirs. Moving on, rule number 3, consider human nature. The vast majority of people of all kinds have a need to feel important, to exalt themselves above someone else, or to feel better in comparison to someone else. It's human nature, and for the most part, it's harmless. But for the unhappiest among us, it sometimes manifests itself into verbal, emotional, and sometimes physical abuse, many times to the people closest to them. Putting someone down is a symptom of being down, so don't validate your abusers by believing them. Faith is often defined as the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Why would you put your faith in an abusive person? Put your faith in yourself. Moving on, rule number 4, understand you have dominion over you. You are the expert of you. You are the master of you. No one else even has enough information to challenge your self-concept. You decide who and what you are, no one else. Apply this to your faith as you may. But God hasn't given any of you dreams that He hasn't also given you the ability to see through. I say that because I personally believe that we are the ambition of our spirits, meaning you are already the person that you wish you were. That's why you feel disconnected from your vision of you. So if you hate yourself today, you can change yourself tomorrow. You can be a different, stronger, better, kinder, smarter, happier, and wiser person than you were last month, this month. If at any point you don't like you, you can change. With that said, moving on. Rule number 5, get your emotional health in order. It's dangerous to get into a relationship and task a person with loving you more than you love yourself. Unfortunately, I see this a lot. And as selfish as it may sound, self-preservation should be everyone's top priority. Hoping a new man can come into your life and sustain your self-concept is kind of like trying to drive a car with no hands. Furthermore, if you don't love yourself adequately and self-preservation isn't your biggest priority, you are more likely to choose a partner incapable of even supporting your emotional well-being, let alone providing it. And that's because people who struggle with this have almost no standards for the mate they choose. They take on more damage with every relationship because they don't feel like they deserve any better. So if that sounds like you, stop it. Moving on. Rule number 6, stand up for yourself. People treat you how you allow them to. They will take everything that you have to give and discard you when you have nothing left to offer. Protect your self-interest and dedicate your time and resources to people appropriately, people who deserve your time, people who pay you in honor, respect, and reverence. Self-care is about watching your own back, doing what's best for you physically, spiritually, and emotionally. It's about being your own advocate. And many of you dread conflict. You don't want to clean out your social circles, even if they're toxic. To you, I say this: learn the value of distance and silence. Abusive people don't deserve your words or presence. You don't have to have a big blow up. Just separate yourself. They may not like it, but they're toxic, so F them. Moving on. Rule number 7, always be growing. I talk to so many women who want a change, but refuse to make a change. If you don't improve, neither will your situation. Seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I know this is easier said than done, but try to focus less on what's been done to you and more on what you can do to mold your future. That means taking responsibility for your decisions in the past. That means actively seeking growth and self-improvement. It means taking action against the things and people in your life that disturb your peace. It means nurturing your spirit through meditation, prayer, and joy-inducing activities. It means getting therapy if you need it. It means acquiring new skills or losing the weight you've been wanting to lose. Going back to school or quitting the job you hate so much. Upgrade yourself and take control of your life. You only get one. With that said, last and not least, rule number 8. Love yourself because nobody can do it for you. Many women who write me seem to be waiting on a man to love them in the absence of self-love, or a man to care for them in the absence of self-care, and a man to give them security and confidence in the absence of self-esteem. What many people seek from relationships should be sought from themselves. Because if you're lacking these things, when that man doesn't love you, you feel worthless because you don't love yourself. No one man should have all that power over you. It's impossible to be happy if your joy and self-concept depends on other people's opinions and emotions toward you. Some of you have been told you're not good enough, or that you're ugly, stupid, worthless, or unlovable, or that you will fail at your goals, or you're only good for sex. Some of you have even told yourselves much worse than this. To be blunt, it's absolute bullshit. Those things are only true if you allow them to be. So, with that said, in case no one has told you lately, you are good enough. You are worth the wait. You are smart enough. You are capable enough. You are beautiful. Someone will want you. You can find someone better. You are as great as you set out to be, and every day you have a choice. So choose to believe in yourself. I think I've said enough. Follow me on Instagram at KFIC24. Instructions for email advice will be in the description box. I'll get with y'all later.